research question is, how does dopamine get us addicted to technology? But first, what is dopamine? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter which is the body's chemical messenger to facilitate communications between nerve cells and the nervous system. Dopamine is mainly associated with the brain's pleasure or reward system. When our body is maintaining homeostasis, you get positive rewards in the form of pleasure from dopamine being released. This is influenced by everyday activities like eating or drinking. Dopamine should be released at regular intervals to maintain homeostasis. So dopamine makes us feel good and happy, which could lead to us taking actions just to feel that joy, such as taking drugs, because they will increase the dopamine output in our brains. This is what can lead to addiction, because our bodies and minds crave the feel-good factor of dopamine.
When we hear a notification from our devices, we have a good feeling that comes over us that makes us curious on what it is. This is caused by the release of dopamine by our brains. Dopamine helps us process information and with working memory. With an imbalance of dopamine, it can affect more than just the nervous system. Now we'll focus on how it affects the cardiovascular system. Dopamine at high doses can be beneficial for people struggling with low blood pressure and serious conditions caused by shock like a heart attack and heart failure. It increases the intensity of contractions in our heart, which can also make our blood pressure too high.
Our nervous system and cardiovascular system are the two main systems that help produce and allow dopamine to work the way it does. Dopamine is produced in the brain, which means that the nervous system helps produce it. The dopamine produced by the nervous system increases pulse pressure and heart rate, which relates to the cardiovascular system. The amount of dopamine produced from a given event can directly affect how much effort the cardiovascular system has to exert. For example, if we hear a notification from our phone and our nervous system releases a lot of dopamine, this means that our cardiovascular system may be forced to work harder, which increases pulse pressure and heart rate. With that said, if a person has issues with low pulse pressure, dopamine can help increase it. Recent studies have shown that the relationship between the nervous system and the cardiovascular system can be manipulated to benefit a person with a pulse pressure or heart rate that is too low. However, dopamine can increase pulse pressure and heart rate to the point where it becomes dangerous in some cases.
To answer our original question about how does dopamine get us addicted to technology, it gets us addicted by giving us a pleasurable feeling and making us subconsciously always feel the need to check our devices.